Hello, today we will be graphing a polynomial function, and I'll show you how to do it. So our polynomial function we'll be doing today is 2x to the power of 3 minus 9x to the power of 2 plus 7x plus 6. Move on, we can see that with this equation the best way would do factors, find factors of it. Now with this being 2x to the power of 3, that would mean it's both has factors of 1 and 2 as the denominator. Then for numerator, we have factors of 6, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 6. Going through all the work, trial and error, or just if you can eyeball it, I saw that 3 is one of the factors. So moving on from there, we can go here, which with this, you put in 3 and you do synthetic division. Now with synthetic division, put the 2, drop it, boom, times it by 3, and you add, and going through all that, the remainder should be 0, because from the beginning it comes out of 0, this would come out of 0. So now we then have this quotient left over, and then we also know that one of our zeros for the graph is 3. So that would be x minus 3. Moving forward, we now know there are two other ways now we can work from here with this quotient. We could do decomp, but decomp would take longer. So it would be better to do, just like before, factors of it. Now, thanks to the 6 getting gone, and now we just have a 2 there, we got a lot less factors than before. Now it's plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 2, which each one can then be over plus or minus 1 or plus or minus 2. Now, looking at this, you can see that 2 would be a viable option. So just like before, we pop in the 2 for synthetic division, bring down the 2, and then times it by the 2 prior, and then just like before, add them up. Of course, which you get the remainder 0, just like before. Now with this left over, that means 2x plus 1 is now one of our zeros, plus also the 2x, x minus 2, which is one of the zeros too, as we have just done. So now we know the zeros are negative 1 over 2, positive 3, and positive 2. Moving on forward, graph that on the graph. Now, we now have to find out what the point is on 1, x1, and also what the y-intercept is. So to find the y-intercept, we do p x of 0 equals, and then you punch in 0 for each x value. So then negative 3 in one, negative 2 in another, plus 1 in the other. That comes out as positive 6. So now we now know that one of the y-intercepts is positive 6. Now then we find what 1 is. Just like before, we punch in 1 for all of the x values. We get negative 2 here, negative 1, positive 3, 6, just like before. So now we know another one of our points is x1, 6, y, which then we can punch that into the graph. Moving on forward, we now got the whole equation here. We got to find what the degree is for the first one, the highest degree variable value. Now, seeing that it's 3, so we know that's an odd degree. Also, its a value comes into play too. Now, its a value is greater than 0, which means it's positive. Now, when it's positive and has an odd degree that's above 1, we know it is left down, right up. And then by graphing that, we then come to where it goes downwards, left, upwards, right, and it passes through all those points we have marked. And that is how you figure out a polynomial function.